Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you about a few tricks that people are using up in High Legend League in order to try and get defenses. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying there's no such thing as a fantastic base that's going to defend really, really well against every type of army. Based on the clan castle you choose and the placement of your traps and maybe a few other little tricks and things here and there is going to determine what your base will defend well against or what it's catered to and the things it might have weaknesses towards. And obviously right now, because of the meta and everything, and because it's so offensively based, people are using these Hail Mary type strategies in order to try and get lucky at the beginning of a raid. I'll show you what this base is in a minute. By the way, if you're Romeo and you're watching this, or if you know who he is, tell him to change his base because I'm showing everybody where his traps are. I apologize. But you have a good example of what people are doing well in Legend League. So shout out to you for having a good base to show us an example. Anyway, what you have to do is you have to decide what strategies you want to defend well against and then give up and just accept that your base might not defend as well against other strategies. And obviously it makes sense to choose the strategies you're being attacked by the most and cater to that, right? For me, where I'm at in Legend League, and for everybody in this video, these tips are going to work really well for people that are being attacked very consistently by Super Witch Fireball, Rocket Loom Fireball, Fireball Lalo, Super Bowler attacks with healers, basically any type of ward and charge attack. These are all tips that you guys are going to want to take advantage of and use in order to try and defend in Legend League. And I'm going to give you guys 3 things that I've done in order to defend 2 times every day for the past few days, or 2 days, 3 days. I can't remember how long it's been, but I've defended 2 times pretty consistently. And I'm going to go in order from least important to most important. And kind of the first thing, I think people are starting to kind of catch on to this. You can see this guy has hidden his sweeper behind his, siege barracks machine, siege factory, whatever this building's called. I don't even know. Oh, I'm going to hurry and fix this really quickly. Anyway, what this is going to do is you're hoping that people will put their warden down over here really quickly and launch a fireball and just not see that that's there. And then the fireball will land right there, right? Because look at how tricky that is. That's kind of hard to see if you're not paying attention, right? So this is one trick that's becoming pretty common. Basically, you're just hoping that somebody's not paying attention. And if they're not, you're going to get lucky and they're going to waste their fireball. You're basically making them swag their fireball. So that's tip number 1. You can use this little sweeper trick in order to try and get people to screw up their fireball. For tip number 2 and 3, it's going to be very similar, but I'm going to show you another thing this guy does. This guy actually used, I think, like all 3 tricks. Anyway, let's go ahead and push play here, and I want to show you guys the next couple of tricks. I'm combining the 2 words in order to try and defend. It's going to be up here in just a second. Maybe I'll times 2 it here just real quick, just so that we can get to the part really quickly. Holy cow, this was further in the replay than I thought it was going to be. Okay, right here. You can see that red air bomb farm, right? What you're hoping for by putting all your red air bombs there is that somebody's going to put their warden right up here, and then eventually the healers will go and just all die. Now, I want to talk to you guys about this tip and one other tip specifically and how you can use it on your bases and the best way to use it, and then how you can maybe cater your attack to deal with these if you are on the offense so that you kind of understand how these work. And I'm actually going to, you can see all this guy and all his Seeking Air Mines are over here too. You're basically just hoping to catch all the healers with these. So I'm going to go into one of my bases I'm not using anymore and show you guys what I did in order to defend. All right, so this is a base I got 4 defenses with across 2 different days, and I don't mind showing you guys this base anymore because this is not the base that I'm going to be running tomorrow. So if you guys know where the traps are, it won't matter. Basically what you do is I watched my replays and I realized that for a few days that there were quite a few people that started warden charge style attacks from this section right here. And what would happen is they would clear some buildings and their warden would either walk down or their warden would walk up. And so the way that I decided to trap this area, and again, you're throwing a Hail Mary, right? You just want to get lucky once or twice in a day. That's all you need. If you can go lucky once or twice, then you can go positive, and that's really the goal. So basically what I did was I stuck all of my traps here. Now, unlike the base that I just showed you with Romeo, where he had all of his red air bombs in a single area, that's not ideal. And I want to show you a better way that you can trap your base in order to get more people. People are bringing 2 to 3 Coco Loons for the most part. There are some people that bring more, but for the most part, everybody's bringing like 2 or 3 Coco Loons with their attack. And so what you want to do is you want to put your Seeking Air Mines out in front. Oh, I don't know why I'm drawing a W because those are Seeking Air Mines. Weaking Air Mines, sure. And what they're going to waste a couple of Cocoloons. The Cocoloons aren't going to get them anything, right? And then they're not going to have any more for when the important part of the trap actually is set. And this 2 different times absolutely just wrecked every single healer. And then the other 2 times got them to like in the red health because like maybe 1 or 2 red air bombs didn't go off when they went up, or 1 or 2 at the top went when they went down or whatever, right? But then they ended up dying to like a random air defense or something later on. So they died anyway later on in the raid. But yeah, flat out 2 different raids, just every single hero just were gone. And so trap your base like this. Find out where people are attacking you from the most with the Warden Charge. This is only going to cater mostly to higher Legend League, or if you're being attacked mostly by Warden Charge attacks, right? Put a few Seeking Air Mines to deal with their Cocoloons, and then just trap the crap out of the inside of the base just a little bit more with all of their red air bombs and get their healers. If you can get their healers, your chances of defending skyrocket. Now, if you're on the offense and you come across this, I would add a couple more Cocoloons. It's worth it at this point. If your healers can live, your chance of 3-star is very high. If your healers die, your chance of 3-star is very low. So bring 1 or 2 more Cocoloons to help deal with this kind of thing. On my attacks yesterday, I would use like 4 or 5 Cocoloons with my, and then like basically by the time my Lalo happens, I only have like 14 balloons left because like sometimes I use them to look for Teslas for my Flame Fling or 2, but I still get the 3-stars, right? That's all that matters. So this is tip number 1. Trap your base in a way where you're going to get their healers. You definitely want the Seeking Air Mines out front to deal with the Cocoloons, and then you want all their healers to get wrecked by the red air bombs. Let's talk about the Clan Castle for a minute. Now, the Clan Castle is going to vary greatly depending on what you're trying to defend against the most. And I'm going to cater this specifically towards Warden Charge type attacks, not the Super Witches. Ice Golems are still better for Super Witches, but for the Warden Charges, a damage CC is going to be ideal. Now, maybe a mixture between Headhunters and Rocket Balloons and Super Minions, something with like those 3 units. I've even seen some people running Super Miners a couple of times, but the Super Miners, I've come across that twice in Legend League in the past few days, and I just invis my Warden and they go to my King or Queen, and then they don't really get a whole lot of value anyway. So I'm still on the fence about Super Miners, but all it takes is for somebody not to be paying attention for 1 second for Super Minions or Headhunters to wreck the Warden, and then their raid's ruined. So if you can put a damage CC in, if that's what you're trying to defend against, obviously if you're not being attacked a whole lot by Rocket Loom Fireball or Fireball or whatever it was, some of those attacks, it might not make sense to put the Super Minions in you. And you might want to stick with Ice Golems, right? But they definitely, it just like when they pop out and they do a lot of damage, like they will just like almost 2-shot if all 4 of them get shots off, right? The Super Minions, like it'll just like 2-shot your Warden, and then you almost don't have time to react if you didn't react immediately. So that's another trick that I've noticed with the Clan Castle. Those are kind of the tips that I've been using to defend in Legend League, and what I've been noticing a lot more common. Man, I wish I would have kept a few replays, but I was out of town a little bit this weekend, and so I wasn't at the computer to record and stuff. There were a couple times where I would use 1 Cocoloon in my raid and draw literally all 6 or 7 red air bomb traps immediately at the beginning, because that's what people are trying to do to defend. They're just hoping to get lucky. That's how the meta is right now. So if you can trap your base well, that's the key. Another third thing you can do, which is on this base here, is pick a base where the Monolith is kind of isolated in the middle and will force your Warden to kind of go around it like this. And if they have to waste their Fireball early on, what this will do is the Warden will be in range of the Monolith will be in range of the Warden without the Warden attacking it, right? Because the Warden's going to be going to the next closest thing, which is going to make your Warden kind of walk all the way around while the Monolith is attacking your Warden the entire time, and you're going to have to waste way too many spells to keep him alive. If they do get lucky enough to not have to use the Fireball before this Rage Tower expires and they can use the Fireball on the core, then they're probably just way too good at the game and you're not going to defend anyway. Anyway, those are my tricks that I've been using to defend in high Legend League. The higher you are in Legend League, I think the better these are going to be for you. It really all depends on what you're being attacked by the most. And for me, it's probably almost 50% Rocket Loom Fireball / Warden Charge attacks, and then the other 50% is like Root Riders and maybe some Hydra, maybe some E-Drags, other random weird little things here. But it's by far the most popular thing right now is some type of Warden Charge. Anyway, hope that helps. Hope you guys can defend, and I will see you guys next time.